the WCS Season 1 Finals. Innovation from SDX Seoul, your blue Terran player. And the red Terran will be aLive from Evil Geniuses.
Maybe not for long after a couple more games like that. We'll see.
That was pretty one-sided, though.
It was pretty brutal. So, you know, kind of going off of what we were talking about before the game started, I really feel like a big reason why we see a lot more mech playing TvT right now is because of the maps. And the maps, we just don't have a lot of the wide open maps that we used to have. Like, think of maps like Taldra and Malter, for instance. You can go straight up bio, get a lot of flanking, get a lot of positioning, and come at those big mech armies from multiple sides. And right now in this map pool, aKalon Waste's a prime example of this. Just not a lot of space for bio to maneuver these days. So I think that's part of it. I think as the map pool kind of shifts, if things become a bit more open, we'll see more bio. But right now, mech is kind of the order of the day.
Well, we'll be a faster gas for aLive this time around. So let's see what he has in store, what plan he has to deal with Innovation. He just looked rather helpless last game as he just got his economy destroyed by those repeated and multiple Hellbat drops.
Yeah. I wonder if we're going to see a one-racks expand from Innovation. I think it's definitely a possibility. And he's got the comfort zone, I guess you could say, to sort of play for that longer macro game. He knows, too, that aLive is the type of player that, you know, generally does play a little bit more tech-heavy. So he's saying, all right, well, you know what? If I can defend against whatever he throws at me and I have that extra command center, my macro advantage is going to win me the game 9 times out of 10. So I like the kind of idea behind Innovation's strategy here in game number 2. He's kind of, he's definitely playing aLive. He's not just playing TvT. He's playing versus aLive.
Very interesting. Well, the scout already in the base. We'll see that reactor going up on the barracks.
Yeah.
No expansion attempt yet from aLive. Instead, just holding off.
And I wonder if this is going to be that 2 Reaper opening that turned into sort of a 4 Reaper opening that we saw MVP do against 4GG just a little bit ago. And it's not a bad opening. And yeah, it will be 2 Reapers. Okay, so this map, again, you know, we've talked about it in the past. Maybe not the best map for Reapers because you can kind of cover a lot of those areas a bit easier, but if Innovation does go for a very fast command center, you can kind of punish that. Now, unfortunately for aLive, that command center is on the high ground. So, you know, we'll see if aLive can get in there. It's certainly not impossible to do damage, and he'll almost definitely be able to get a lot of good scouting with it. But in terms of just straight up damage, Reapers can't really handle it very often on aKalon Waste.
Well, and we've seen it before. We've seen Reapers in the TvT matchup on this map, and they just have such a hard time because there's a very small part of the map that we're looking on right here where they can come up the cliff, and that is very easily defended by Marines. So yeah, it's just difficult to even crack your way into the base in the first place.
And he's doing a lot of scouting for proxies too, which I think is good. Just want to make sure that you're not getting caught by anything unawares. Generally, if you do move the Reapers eventually into the base, you're going to go from that 3rd base location, just kind of hop up into the main that way because it's the quickest and it's a little bit out of the way. But yeah, right now aLive just being very, very thorough with that scouting.
Well, here we go. Gonna pop that factory down, put out some Hellions. Or we'll see, Widow Mines, perhaps Hellions it will be.
Yep.
This time around, and looks like Innovation preparing for those drops once again.
Yep, that's right. We'll see if he adds that armory on. I mean, he could just go for regular Hellion drops too if he wants to. And aLive, no scouting for that SCV. Goodbye. And there is the armory for Innovation, so yeah, he is going to be moving into Hellbat drops as well. And behind the 2nd base. So I mean, yeah, it's going to come a little bit slower, but honestly, you know, aLive is going to again be forced in that situation where he needs to defend against something that he simply just could not handle last game.
Innovation moving out, taking his 2nd. Only a couple Reapers from aLive, so he will be able to handle this quite easily. And more Marines being put out from aLive as well, just standing guard.
Uh-oh.
Right, picks up the Reaper.
Goodbye. He turned into little Reaper chunks.
And there we go. Armory nearly complete. The Hellbat drops going to be commencing once again for Innovation. Can he match the ludicrous amount of damage he managed to do to aLive's economy last game?
Yeah, we'll see. You know, what's interesting is aLive is getting his armory as well, but he's already got his first medevac on the way, so not going to go into any sort of like really smooth sort of Hellbat drop play possibly. This could just be more kind of straight up mech with some Hellbat drops, some regular Hellion drops, but mostly getting that armory for the quicker upgrades. It's just kind of a wild guess for me right now, but I feel like aLive is going to want to play a little bit more passively after that initial Reaper kind of scouting thing. Wasn't able to really get him a whole lot of what he wanted.
And here we go. Innovation's drop gets a little bit spotted out right there. Marines waiting and ready for this medevac. aLive moving out with a medevac of his own. 2 Hellions and 2 Widow Mines, and he's going to go ahead and drop anyway. Lands 1 Hellion, 1 Mine, and then heads into the main. Oh! That SCV was not around any others, and here we go. He's going to try for his second attempt here with the Widow Mine, and what'll it get?
Oh, went into the refinery. I think the SCV's safe from that one.
Too funny.
I believe if it targets the SCV and then the SCV enters the refinery, it just kind of fizzles. But here comes aLive with his own Widow Mine drops.
Oh, just gets one again. So these 2 drops from both of these players, these mirror drops in a mirror matchup,
it's so
do
funny.
hardly anything at all.
It's so funny to see these Widow Mine drops, because the idea is that you damage a lot of SCVs and then you finish them off with something else. Because again, you know, Widow Mines don't one-shot any SCV aside from the initial target, but just not working out, you know, terribly for either player, but this could be a different story.
First Hellbat drop coming out right now. One of the Hellbats down. He does pick up the other one. Innovation beating a retreat. aLive moving back to his base as well. He has gotten this Reaper back, killed the SCV that was making that depot, but now he gets surrounded by those same SCV and drilled to death.
That'd be a painful way to go, man. Although it could kind of be with a Reaper, you have like a Boba Fett situation where you like poke his backpack and it just goes out of control and he flies into a Sarlacc pit or something.
And in this sandy map, there's always a Sarlacc waiting, though.
That's right, where he's slowly digested over 1,000 years. Those poor Reapers.
Here we go, Afterburners into the base. And yet another Hellbat drop. There's a turret ready and waiting this time. Doesn't get too many SCVs, but he, whoa!
Ooh, that was
very close.
Yeah, man, I mean, he's got both bases kind of evacuating at this point. He's going to be able to take out the Hellbats. No more good shots against those SCVs. It's still aLive. No way. Wow. Managed to toast a couple extra SCVs at the very end. Here comes aLive.
And there we go. Mirror Hellbat drops. Going to get cleaned up by both players. So Innovation not having quite the success he did last time, but he is pulling ahead in terms of supply once again. Already 19 up.
And Innovation just walking some Hellbats across the map too with this. He's going to be able to take out that Hellion, no problem. And aLive, I can't believe he's just walking him in there. Okay, yeah, he's turning around now, but...
And there's a bunker there to protect these SCVs. Has to pull them back, so Innovation not going to lose too much. Loses 1 and sends some Hellbats to deal with it. His Vikings chasing off the medevac.
A little bit more targeting from that, and he could have killed a lot more, I think. That was a really close call for Innovation. +2 mech weapons already on the way for aLive, though, so he has been using that armory quite a bit. There goes another SCV from the Widow Mine.
Got to be careful about that. The Hellbats from Innovation sitting in the middle of the map right now. He's bringing more. The march of the Hellbats across Akalon Wastes.
This is like just nearly pure Hellbat. Actually, it is just pure Hellbat from Innovation with a few Vikings added on for base defense. And he knows that he's in a good spot, because one of the best ways to defend against Hellbat drops is by just leaving Hellbats of your own in your middle line at home. Does he have enough here?
He's coming in. He looks like he's got by far the greater Hellbat numbers at the moment. He's splitting up. There's a drop, however. Innovation pulling all of his SCVs into his natural, and he's trying just to push forward aLive, losing these Hellbats left and right. He sends his SCVs, and they die in a barrage of flames.
I think that's got to be about it again.
Has just beaten aLive once again with Hellbat drops, slowly taking that supply lead and then delivering the coup de grace.
aLive not even really worrying about sending those guys back to mine, apparently, after cleaning up that drop. And when you're fighting with nearly only SCVs, it's a bit of a rough situation here. aLive finally pushing back some of those units a little bit, but just still can't handle it. And there's the GG, man. Innovation just looking pretty good, I gotta say. aLive is gonna have his work cut out for him to come back from this one. But you know, the last time we saw Innovation in a longer best of series, he went up until one game away from winning.
Right.
And then,
I remember that. That happened, what, a week ago?
It was pretty close by, yeah. So aLive, you never know. You never know, buddy.
aLive wiping the sweat off.
Yeah.
Refocusing for this third game, and Innovation, remember, he was up against Solkey. He was there. He was one game away from winning.
Yeah.
And then his opponent swept through to win the series.
Yep.
So aLive.
And that sign basically says, you know, innovation, we want you to go to Jamshil. Basically is what it said, which is where the finals will be tomorrow.
So innovation. Have you learned your lesson from the WCS Korea final?
We'll see.